What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we are going to be rebuilding Dortmund and also showcasing one of my favourite tactics inside of FM23 so far. So do stick around, because at some point in this video we are going to be breaking down that tactic for you guys to use. So we are going to be going with Borussia Dortmund, as I mentioned. We're going to see a little bit about the club here. We can see, obviously, great reputation, great training facilities, great youth facilities, good, decent youth recruitment. Also, you've got the social media followers, which I've never seen before. Some pretty important players, Marco Reus, Matt Hummels, Marco Reus again. That's just a key player. And a hot prospect, obviously, Moukoko. Now, the aim of this is we're simply going to try and get Dortmund back to winning the league and also some European success. Now, it depends on how long that takes. I would like to win either Europa League or the Champions League. I'm hoping we can win one of them within 5 seasons. So I can't tell you exactly how many seasons we're going to need, but hopefully we can get it done within 5. Now, the first season is going to be a little bit limited in terms of transfers because we have 8.6 million. Now, I took some time. I actually went over to my favourite edition, the Squad Planner, to see exactly what we needed. And do you know what? Goalkeepers to start with, we're fine. We've got Cabell, a great keeper. We've also got Lotka, who's a decent backup, and also Maya, who's a decent backup. Probably don't need 4 goalkeepers, so possibly look to offload some of them in the second season. The first season, just a little bit of tradition I've got. I never like to sell anyone until I've given everyone a chance. Now, so that pretty much answers that bit. No one is going to be sold in this first window. The right back position, and Nicholas Schul, who can play there. I do prefer him centre half, but I've got a feeling that the assistant is going to play him at right back unless we do bring in someone absolutely sensational. We've then obviously got Emre Can, who will not be playing right back. I much want him in the midfield areas, probably in that box-to-box role or the DM role. We've got Wolf, we've got Munier, who obviously is aging a little bit, Mori again, and a couple of others. So decent options there. In terms of the centre-backs, obviously we've got Schul, Hummels, Schlotterbeck, Emre Can, who I'm not comfortable with really playing there. So that is a position which I do want to strengthen a little bit, because in my opinion, is only really the top 3, and you know, we've not even got rotation in terms of when centre half. If you've got 2 centre halves, I personally believe you should have 4, because it gives you rotation in both positions, and it is needed. Now, left back, we're going to have Guerrejo, a very good attacking left back, and also Schluls and Schlotterbeck, who can play there as well. So that position fairly covered as well. Moving over to the DM, we've obviously got the wonder kid Jude Bellingham, Emre Can, Dahoud, Ozcan, who else am I missing? Some other players as well, but they're the main sort of players in that position. Obviously, we're seeing very similar positions here. We've also got Rayner, who can play, and Julian Brandt as well, who can play in these positions. Some very good options in the midfield. On the right-hand side, we've got Marco Reus, who can actually play right, left, and striker. He is 33, so only a couple of seasons really left with him. Julian Brandt, Torgan Hazard, Ademi, Marlon, Wolf. Some good players, loads of depth. As we go on, I'm going to offload some of these players, because, I mean, when we go to the striker, I'm going to show you something which I don't really like. On the left-hand side, obviously, we've got very much the same players. They're very versatile. That's the one good thing that we have got going for us, is how versatile this front line is. And up top, this is... Right, to start with, I love the fact we've got Ademi, we've got Moukoko, but we do not need Ademi, Moukoko, Marlon, Modeste, Haller. We do not need all of them. So next season, we are going to look to offload some of them. Obviously, we're going to keep Ademi and Moukoko, and they can sort of battle it out and cover for each other. Obviously, Ademi can also play on the right-hand side, so that's a big opportunity for him as well. But overall, it is a decent little side, and this is how it's going to line up going into the first season. We are going to be using one of Nap's tactics. Such a good tactic maker. Hands down, one of the best, if not the best. Honestly, big fan of his work, and in my opinion, this works so well with the Borussia Dortmund side, because it's attacking, it's got a bit of everything, and the results speak for themselves. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to break down this tactic towards the end of the video, because I don't want to do it right away, because then I know not you guys aren't going to stick around to see some of the transfers that we do make, and trust me, this rebuild is tasty. If there's one thing I'm trying to do, is I'm just trying to get you guys that do come by for the tactics to give the rebuilds a chance, even if they're not your usual thing. Because trust me, they do get entertaining. You get to see some good play and all of that. And, you know, they are a good watch. So do give it a chance. That's all I ask, guys. But let's go and see how this first season does. So, first season done, guys. And we actually have won the Bundesliga in the first season. Quarterfinals of the Champions League and a disappointing exit in the Pokal in the third round. scoring 94 goals in the league and only conceding 24, really does showcase how good this tactic is, considering we've made no signings as well. It's going to be Ademi with 26 goals, Marco Reus with 16 assists, and Schlotterbeck with 85% pass completion. Now, going into the squad, I'm going to run down this very briefly because obviously we've got an extra part of these rebuilds to do now, which is going to be breaking down the tactic. So, we're going to be looking at some of the main performers. Ademi, 26 goals, 7 assists. Bellingham, 9 goals, 6 assists. Schlotterbeck, 7 goals, 4 assists. Very good for him. 7 goals and 3 assists coming in for Hummels. 18 goals from Marco Reus with 16 assists. 15 goals and 8 assists from Reina, a player who I really do want to develop under my management and get him playing really well. And Guerrejo coming in with 3 goals and 14 assists. Now, I'm not going to read out every single column because obviously that would take ridiculously long. And one thing I've figured out with you guys and a lot of other audiences as well, you like the videos to be kind of compact. You don't want like a 3-hour rebuild. So do feel free to look through as we go along and I'll read out some of the stats. But overall, what I'm gathering from this is we're seeing a good contribution from a lot of the first team players and some of the underperformers this season. You're looking at Haller, obviously only got substituted on twice. Scrolls as well. Munier possibly. Modeste. So we have got some players that we are going to look to offload and we do need to strengthen. Although we did win the league, the aim of this series, or this video, not series, is to try and get European success. So if we keep getting into the Champions League, the only thing I'm going to class as success is us winning the Champions League. Now, this could take a while, so do strap in. Going into what is going to be the second season, we have got 45 million pounds to spend, which is a very good budget. And the first position that I do want to strengthen is going to be a centre-back. And I'm going to let you in a little secret. I've already made this signing, so I'm going to show you who it is. And that is going to be Sober. Now, this guy I've been trying to get for ages. On multiple rebuilds, I tried it on my Watford rebuild. He didn't want to come. It's very difficult sometimes to attract players when you're not at the top of the game. And luckily for us, we are at the top of the game with Borussia Dortmund. This guy is sensational. 15 tackling, reasonably quick, very tall as well. 24 years of age. So again, got tons and tons of years in him and can instantly slot into this first team. And I think we'll pretty much solve a lot of the issues that we are having at the back. Granted, that season we were the best at conceding goals, but you look at the back line, you've got Hummels that's getting older. He is going to need replacement at some point, and to be honest, this guy I think can do a good job. Even if he doesn't, it's probably not the level of Hummels yet in terms of, you know, his experience and stuff like that, but he can get there, and obviously previously come from the Bundesliga as well, so he's very familiar with this league. We don't stop there. We go over to, I'm a bit biased. We go over to Manchester United and we sign Diego Dalot, hopefully to start at the right back position. I'm a big fan of him in real life. I think he's criminally underrated. Let me know below what you think of Diego Dalot. But for me, I think he's criminally underrated. He's good going forward, reasonably good at, you know, actually at defending as well. And he's so clear of Wan-Bissaka in that Manchester United side. And I really wanted to get him in. So he's going to be a good Bundesliga player. Potential is going to be a leading Bundesliga player. Again, 24 years of age. So you've got sort of 8 years before you even consider offloading him. Some very, very good attributes all-rounder in my opinion. And this does strengthen up the back line massively. This is what we spent on the players. So as you can see here, we spent 54 million on Sober. Some of this is in installments. Obviously, we only got given half of this budget, so a lot of it is in installments. 54 million pounds, and Dalot costs us 52 million. But Dalot is actually worth double that in this game. So for me, quite a good deal. And this is how the team does line up. It is going to be Cabell, Dalot, Hummels, Sober, Guerrejo, Ozcan, Emre Can, Bellingham, Hazard, Reus, Ademi. So them two new signings right away get into the first team when you filter by the best, and it doesn't surprise me. Sober, Dalot, two fantastic defenders. Hopefully we can get into the second season and do a little bit better in the Champions League. So the second season has been simulated, guys. Quick little announcement. Be sure to leave a like on the video. Not really an announcement, but be sure to leave a like on the video and do subscribe to the channel. Because honestly, the content is coming out quite frequently right now. We've got live streams coming. We've got tons of content. This is the perfect time for you guys to join the channel. It's completely free and I do appreciate it. But that's enough of that. Let's get into the second season. Now, Big success here, to be honest. We managed to win the Bundesliga again. Bayern Munich must be asleep. We also won the Super Cup against Bayern Munich. Runners up in the Pokal against Bayern Munich. A lot of Bayern Munich here. Lost in the quarterfinals again, but it was against the dominant side Manchester City. I can't expect to be beating them just yet. We need one more big window. 114 goals scored. Somehow the defence has got worse. 25 goals conceded, ranking us the second best. If I'm right in saying that it's the same amount of goals, so possibly it's one of the other teams who are slightly better at defending. Probably was Bayern Munich, to be honest. But in terms of player stats, we're going to be seeing Ademi come in with 56 goals, 7 assists, 6 goals and 13 assists for Knuth. Bellingham coming in with 15 goals, 13 assists. Marco Reus having one hell of a season at the age of 35. 24 goals, 24 assists. We're going to go down here to some big numbers. 5 goals and 17. I think I've been saying it the wrong way round. 5 goals, 17 assists coming in for Guerreiro. Reina coming in with 21 goals and 16 assists. 7 and 5 out of Schlull. So again, the attacking players are really putting on a good show right now. And that's exactly what we want to be seeing. This next window is going to be a bit tricky because we are going to be trying to offload some players. And obviously at some point we're going to have to say goodbye to Marco Reus. You know, his contract is coming up at some point. He might not want to, he might not want to renew it. And if he does, it might be too much for me to think I don't want to pay it. Even after a good season, you've got to take into account he is 35. So we'll see what happens. There's going to be a few players that might want to leave. We're going to do our best and hopefully we can maintain a team that is dominating the Bundesliga. Now, I'm going to quickly say, as soon as I said that, because I knew this was coming up, Jules actually did leave the club. He's out of contract. He isn't really good enough for me to try and lure him back in. So I thought, just go. He wouldn't let me sell him. Just get out of my face. Unfortunately, the same happened with Marco Reus. And it's up to me now whether I basically keep him here or he leaves. And to be honest, he is 35. He's not worth a lot of money. He's taken up a bit of wage. I'm confident with the transfer budget we have been given, we can definitely bring someone in to replace him. So I am going to be letting Marco Reus go. I do apologise. But that is because we have got 93 million pounds to actually spend. Now, with this money, we can strengthen endless amounts. We can bring in more defenders. We can bring in midfielders. We can bring in attackers. We can bring in pretty much every position if we spend smartly. So I'm going to take probably a couple of hours now to go away, look at some players, and I'll come back to you with players that I think are going to be the key to us winning the Champions League. First player is going to be Mareba from RB Leipzig, a very, very, very balanced midfielder, reasonably tall as well. Got a bit about him, it's what I like. He's got tons and tons of potential to grow. At the moment, he is just your standard Bundesliga player, but under my management, he can become up here. Him and Bellingham in the same midfield is absolutely outrageous, and that is what we're trying to hope to replicate, get them playing together. It's got the perfectionist personality, something that I really do rate inside of FM23 or any FM. At the moment, is he going to get into the first team? Probably not, to be honest, because we have got some good midfield players, and we've also brought in another very strong midfield player, who I will get to in a second. But first, it's going to be Niklas Hedl, who we did decide to bring in purely because we did offload a couple of the older backup goalkeepers, and also there was a younger one that just wanted to leave anyway, so we let him go, and we brought in this guy from Rapid Vienna. He's nothing too special, but he's 23, he's decent, basically, he's decent. He's literally, as you can see there, decent Bundesliga player with the potential to be a leading Bundesliga player. Now, he's not going to play a lot. To be honest, our goalkeeper never gets injured. He knows this. He's happy with backup. He could have went to Wolfsburg and actually got first team, but he chose to come to us for backup. I think that says a little bit about him as a player, but I guess he's at a big club winning trophies. Now, this is a controversial one, because a lot of you guys are probably wondering, why have you signed Guendouzi? First off, I never knew he was this young. Second off, he looks absolutely incredible in terms of attributes, very well-rounded, bit of a work engine in the midfield, to be honest with you. And he can pretty much get in. He can get into our first team quite easily. 25 years of age, as I mentioned, so you're going to be getting a player there for sort of 8 years. And he wasn't too much, to be honest, for I think the player that you are going to be getting. It's also nice to switch up and sign players that you don't traditionally sign. And Guendouzi's one of them players that is a very good player, but a lot of people just don't give him the time of day, possibly because of the time he had at Arsenal. But since he's been at, ever since he's been at Marseille, I was going to say Olympic Lyon then, ever since he's been at Marseille, he's actually been quite good in real life. So, in my opinion, it's worth giving him a shot, and I think he suits the team quite well. We then go over to the left back, because obviously Guerreiro is getting old, and we needed someone to be back up and then overtake him. This guy will probably overtake him right from the rip, and that is going to be Mitchell. Obviously, previously from Crystal Palace, played 134 games for that club, so we've come in and poached one of their most loyal players. Absolutely sensational. Look at the tackling, 17 tackling, absolutely rapid. For that age, at 24 again, you're looking at a fullback that's going to be with you for like 6, 7, if not 8 years. Absolutely amazing. Perfectionist personality again. Leading Bundesliga player already. He is close to his full potential, but I don't mind that because he is one of the best fullbacks we're going to have, and he is easily good enough to dominate the Bundesliga with. Now, the last signing was one which took me absolutely ages to get over the line. I had to go back and forth with installments because a lot of these players are all on installments because that's how I roll. I like to just have installments going because you can sign loads more players and all of that. And I thought, do you know what? Let's go for it. And that's exactly what we've done. The last player is going to be Madueke. He's already a leading Bundesliga standard player. He could improve slightly. Fantastic on the ball. Amazing dribbling. Rapid as well. Very good composure, good flair, good technique. Only 22 years of age as well. And he should be a starting player on the right-hand side. If not for the first season, possibly being used here and there. But this guy is absolutely crazy, guys. One of the best players you can probably sign on this game in terms of Wonder Kids. A joy to play with. Obviously, he does cost quite a bit. If you can afford him, I do recommend getting him. And this is going to be what we've spent. So you can see here, we also did offload Haller to Zenit for £23 million. We brought in Mareba from RB Leipzig for £45 million. Hedel from Rapid Vienna for 9, Guendouzi from Marseille for £49.5 million, Mitchell from Crystal Palace for £60 million, and Madueke from PSV for £76 million, totaling £236 million. So this is where I'm going to say, and I'm going to make a clear point, we need to get to at least the finals, if not the semi-finals of the Champions League. We need to start improving in these European competitions. So let's get into the third season, and hopefully we can see a Dortmund side that at least makes it to the finals of the Champions League. So it looks like this is going to be where it ends, guys, because we have actually managed to win the Champions League versus PSG. We've won the Bundesliga, won the Pokal, and the Super Cup all in one season, making it obviously a quadruple winning season, scoring 139 goals, which is clearly where we've improved. 23 conceded, quite a few bookings, I must be honest, but what a season that is. If we go into the squad right now, let's go by goals first. 68 from Ademi, 32 for Reina, 22 for Tapsoba, from centre half. So that shows the set pieces in this as well. 19 for Madueke, obviously the new player. 13 coming in for Bellingham. Brandt with 8. In terms of assists, we've got 32 from Reina, 25 from Madueke, 18 for Bellingham, 17 for Ademi, 13 for Guendouzi, 12 for Mitchell, and 10 for Guerreiro. What a season. I've got to look in the data hub, guys. You know I love the data hub. 4.09 goals per game. 0.68 conceded. What a season that is. Absolutely outrageous. If we were to carry on, we would have had 76 million, which is good. But you know what we've got to do? We have got to go and watch this PSG Champions League final. So let's get into it then. We're only going to be looking at the goals because I have got to break down this tactic for you guys as well. But it's going to be Mendes on the left-hand side, into Neymar, runs past Bellingham. So we do go a goal down here. It's great play. João Felix. That's just, I mean, they've signed him as well. I don't know why. Sergio Rico. I don't know what's happened to Donnarumma, but we have João Felix. I mean, was that Declan Rice as well? They sign everyone. I've never heard of this guy, though, Sergio Rico. If anyone can educate me in the comments, do let me know. It's going to be Guendouzi who goes through into Reina, and it's across the goal. The keeper possibly should have done better. He went with his legs, but went sort of the other way. It's then going to be a bit of a scrappy one by the looks of it. It's going to be Schlull on the edge into Matt Hummels, into Reina, who hits it. Good save. Madueke, yeah, it's impossible for the keeper there. A great goal, and that is going to be 2-1. So, Sober on the pens. He must have good pen stats because I don't know why he's on it. That could be why he's getting so many goals. Jude Bellingham. in the centre of the park, a wonderful through into a demi, and he's going to take it and just chip it over Sergio Rico in what was a game which, to be honest, is a bit humiliating for that team, to be honest with you. 4-1 in the final. I mean, if we look at their team here, we're going to have Felix, Neymar, Soler, Rice, Fabian, Vitinha. It's full strength midfield with the addition of Rice, Neymar, João Felix, Mendes, Kimpembe, Marquinhos, Hakimi, Rico. I mean, it's a game they dominated that's where they went wrong. They dominated the ball, but they literally had no shots. I reckon it was just quite a nervous cup display from them. But let's have a little look, Ben, and let's go in to we'll do the tactic first, because we're going to break down the tactic, and also we can see what we've left them. So we'll filter by best 11 as always first. Done. So this is going to be Cabell, Dalot, Tapsoba, Schlull, Mitchell, Emre Can, Bellingham, Guendouzi, Wolf, Blunt, and a Demi. A few players are changing there. They've got Hummels, Madueke, Marlon, Gorejo, Reina, Torgan Hazard, Schlotterbeck, Ozcan, Makoko, Mori, Mareba, Dahoud on the bench. Some really good players. So we have left them with a fantastic team. Do let me know in the comments if you think I've done a good job here at Dortmund. And if you do, then let me also know a team you want to see rebuilt. Now, mentality is going to be set to positive. In possession, fairly wide, shorter, higher tempo, work ball into the box, and low crosses. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute to either side of the fullbacks, and throw it long. Out of possession, a standard defensive line, high press line of engagement, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and much more often on the trigger press. Going over to the player roles then, a sweeper keeper on the support duty is simply going to be told to be shorter on the passing. The right back is going to be a wing back on the support duty, balanced, tackle harder, sit narrower, cut further forward, get further forward, shorter passing, run wide, dribble more, shoot less often, and take more risks. Now, one thing I'm going to quickly say, a lot of these players might be on tackle harder, and if you guys don't want to get as many bookings, feel free to turn it off, but just know tackle harder is also a good thing, because they will win some of the challenges, and it does encourage them to be a little bit more aggressive. Two ball playing centre backs then. Balanced, tackle harder, stay wider, shorter passing, shoot less often, and dribble more. Going over to the left-hand side is going to be Schlull. He's going to be balanced, tackle harder, stay wider, shorter passing, dribble more, and shoot less often. On the left back, it's going to be a wing back on the attack, so you've got one attacking, one support. Balanced, tackle harder, get further forward, sit narrower, run wide with the ball, shorter passing, take more risks, and shoot less often. Now we're going to go over to the three in midfield. We're going to start off with a DM on the support role. Balanced, tackle harder, shoot less often, dribble more, and shorter pass. And that guy is pretty much the anchor, the glue of that back four. On the left-hand side, we've got Jude Bellingham. Less often, tackle harder, get further forward, move into channels, shorter passing, take more risks, shoot less often, and dribble more. Now we've got a centre mid on the attack. Again, you could possibly use a Metzala, but this worked really well. So personally, I wouldn't change anything. Balanced, tackle harder, get further forward, move into channels, shorter passing, take more risks, shoot less often, and dribble more. The front three. Now this is a nice mixture. You've got an inside forward on the left, less often, tackle harder, get further forward, cut inside, shorter passing, and shoot less often selected. On the right-hand side, you've got a winger on the attack duty. It's going to be less often, tackle harder, get further forward, stay wider, run wide, shoot less often, and shorter passing selected. And the last player of this team is going to be an advanced forward, and this is simply less often, tackle harder, shorter passing, take more risks, dribble more, and shoot more often. So there is a lot to click if you are doing it click for click, but it is very detailed and a sensational tactic from Nap. Big shouts out to you again, because you do make some quality stuff. Full credit to him. But you can download it as well with the link in the description. None of this credit's gone to me. You're going to go right to the FM Scout website. So do leave Nap a very nice comment as well on the FM Scout website if you do enjoy his tactics as well. That is going to be this video done, guys. It's going to be Dortmund finally rebuilt. They've won everything they possibly can. And what a success it's been. We've left them with a great squad. And they've got some history, you know. They've got some additional history. They've already had some. But we've upped that with Bundesliga titles, German trophies, and the Champions League. If you guys have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and also do turn on notifications. But that is going to be it for me today, guys. And I'll see you in the next one.